undersized. I'm looking at a Boston Celtics squad that I don't think will have enough to get out of the East, not with a Milwaukee and a Philadelphia in there. But to see them play the way that they played last night, they got some ballers, and they got some ballers with heart. And Jason Tatum is ascending, okay, is ascending. Now, Max Kellerman, the reason why I bring this up is because I'll get on you about this again. You repeatedly brought up the absence of Kyrie Irving. I repeatedly bring up Gordon Hayward being in that starting lineup,
right?
And Jason Tatum being compromised last year. I don't blame that on Kyrie as much as I blamed it on Brad Stevens and Danny Ainge. And I spoke to Danny Ainge about it. We respectfully disagree, but that's all it is. The point that I'm making is that Jaylen Brown, and especially Jason Tatum, you got three guys on the Celtics averaging better than 19 points. Last night, Jason Tatum showed out. And to me, if you see that more consistently this year, what Jalen Rose said to start the season, Boston being the best perimeter shooting team in the Eastern Conference.
Not last night.
And then and for that being a threat. Last night, with two of their big three struggling, Jason Tatum showing out, still got in overtime.
What I love about this show, we got tape.
That you sit next to me?
Well, Molly, that goes without saying. But we got tape. I told you before the season started I liked the Celtics to do better than people thought this year. And the reason I pointed Kyrie being gone, what it meant for the development of Jason Tatum. Tatum could be the primary scoring option on a championship caliber team. He's a special player. We saw that. But that's not who was most impressive last night. The team that was most impressive last night was the team that won. That's the team that's most impressive. When they trot out the five, really, I'm including Lou Williams in crunch time, with Harrell, with obviously Kawhi and PG-13, and Patrick Beverly. When those five guys are on the floor, and they'll be on the floor to close games, Stephen A., good luck. They don't even know what they're doing yet, and they won that game in overtime. How did they win the game in overtime? Anyone remember the final play?
Kemba missed the shot?
He didn't miss the shot. Kawhi got his hands on the ball.
Yeah.
Kawhi recovered from an area he had no business getting all the way to
That's
Kemba.
the one I'm talking about. Kemba missed that.
No, I'm talking about
that's Kawhi.
That's Kawhi.
Listen, Kawhi came from, Kemba's not thinking Kawhi's going to rotate to him in time to block that shot. In crunch time, they got the man. The man in crunch time in the NBA is Kawhi Leonard, which is why it's Kawhi's world. Stephen A., Paul George, if you haven't noticed, he was an MVP candidate before he got hurt last year. He's scoring about 100 points per minute he's been playing. It's unbelievable, the scoring. Doc Rivers, they have a championship coach, right? And Patrick Beverly. Stephen A. and I were arguing about this earlier, this morning, off camera. Patrick Beverly, you're like, when he's hitting shots, boy, there are a whole lot of, right? Patrick Beverly hits shots. Patrick Beverly, for his career, hits almost 38% from three.
Yeah, but you're misrepresenting my position about my little brother right there. I know we go back a long ways. He's only shooting 23% from three-point range
this year. Small sample.
So that's what I was talking about.
Okay, I'm saying like, what can you really expect from Patrick Beverly? You can expect 37, 38% of his threes to fall and a doggone defense. This Clippers team just beat a Celtics team that know each other, that like each other, that's playing well, and they first time all season they've had their full squad together. It's going to be a problem.
Well, it's going to be a problem, and here's why. Because there are five to close out games. It is Kawhi, Paul George, Lou Williams, Patrick Beverly, and Montrezl Harrell. So you're talking about four elite defenders. You're talking about a guy in Lou Williams that made two key defensive plays against Kemba Walker last night. So he's showing up on the defensive end. And offensively, the three of them together, good Lord have mercy, everybody needs help right now. But I will tell you, The reason why, who's surprised by that? When you look at the Clippers as constructed, they actually could do better than they did last night.
Yep.
What I'm saying is the surprise is that Boston, with Kemba struggling from the field, with Jaylen Brown struggling from the field, a guy like Jason Tatum steps up and reminds you that when we talk about young potential superstars in this league, we can't eradicate him from the conversation. His rookie year, he was incredibly impressive. Then last year, it took a step back. You talk about Kyrie. I talk about Gordon Hayward being inserted into that starting lineup prematurely. But whatever the reason, Jason Tatum was compromised. And so now we're back to this year. We're seeing him ascending again. And if he's ascending to the level that we saw last night, you understand Kemba's not going to shoot like that. You understand that Jaylen Brown's not going to be like that. But if Jason Tatum
that was a season
plays,
low for Kemba.
forget the Western Conference for a second. If Jason Tatum consistently looks the way he looks last night, and I'm not talking about 30, it could be 25. But if he looks like that,
They're going to get Philly problems?
they got problems.
Yeah, no doubt.
Philly got problems.
That's why you're
problems.
surprised. I'm not surprised. I try to tell you about Kyrie last year. Blame it on Gordon Hayward. When Gordon Hayward is on the court or off the court, with injury or without, this team has played well together since Kyrie left. It's not a knock against Kyrie per se. Kyrie is putting on this year, if you watch the Nets, like, oh my God, it's the best show in sports, basically. It's not that
when he's
Kyrie's
played. When he's
right,
played.
when he's played. But the introduction of Kemba, who's a better teammate, according to most, not quite Kyrie's skills, but approximates a lot of that, would take the handcuffs really off Jason Tatum. Look at Tatum's development with Hayward and without Hayward. I'm not surprised a bit. Right. Hey, this is what I was anticipating.
But I think
when the guy's not sucking the oxygen out of the room.
all Philly.
But
I'm still with Philly.
I'm still with Philly as well. But we can't ignore Milwaukee. Yeah. And to Max's point, here's the important point. Again, highlighting one last time, the disagreement between he and I with Boston is he blames a lot more on Kyrie than I do. I look at the decision by Brad Stevens and Danny Ainge to insert Gordon Hayward into that lineup. But to buffer your point, Max, I will tell you this. I am not hearing good things about Kyrie in Brooklyn.
Already?
I'm talking about you're hearing. I haven't spoken that. Listen, you're just hearing about the mood. That people are putting stuff out there. I don't think it's fair. I don't know how accurate it is.
Yeah.
But I am telling, if Kyrie's listening, I'm telling you there's stuff circulating out there about him from an attitude perspective. I don't think it's right.
Maybe he's
but
frustrated
it's
having to carry the load.
Third team.